Okay guys, today we're going to talk about finding the surface area of prisms and cylinders. This is a little bit harder than finding the volume. The surface area is the sum of the areas of each face in a 3D object. Surface area is measured in squared units. There is a generic formula that you can use to find the surface area of any 3D object, and that is capital P times little h plus 2 times capital B. And all of these letters stand for something. The capital P stands for the perimeter of the base shape. So you're going to have to know in a 3D figure what the base shape is. Is it a triangle? Is it a circle? Is it a rectangle? Is it a trapezoid? Then H stands for the height of the prism. How tall is that prism? The capital B stands for the area of the base shape. So you're going to need to know how to calculate the area of that base, the circle, the rectangle, the trapezoid, the triangle. All of this, you can use the formula on every prism or cylinder that we come to, or if you don't like using formulas, they're really complicated for you, you can break it down into each face. So what I wrote over here is you can find the area of each face separately, then you won't need to memorize formulas. So in each problem that I show you today, I'm going to show you how to do it with the formula and then how to do it without the formula. Our first shape we come to is a cube. A cube is a type of a rectangular prism. In a cube, normally you're only given one edge length because all of the edges are the same length. That's what makes it a cube. In this case, the one edge length is 6 centimeters. So using our formula, to capital P times little h plus 2 times capital B, we can start going through and go through and calculate the surface area of this figure. So this base here is a square, so it is 6 centimeters all the way around. So there are 4 edges. Here, 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 and here, that are the base. So instead of doing 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, I just shortened it and did 4 times 6. That's how you find the perimeter of the base. The height of the prism is right here. That's also going to be 6. And so I'll end up multiplying all that together. Then add it to the number 2 times the area of the base. The area of the base is 6 times 6. So once I have all of that written down, I can type it into my calculator. Again, what I recommend for all students, write down the formula. Fill in the formula with the numbers from your problem. Then pick up your calculator, type it in as you wrote it down. Then you'll get an answer, write down your answer with units. And a lot of times students try to rush through, they try to just do it in their head or hold it in their head and write it in their calculator and then write their answer down. And when I come to them to check their work and to try to work with students, I ask them, how did you get this answer? And a lot of times they can't tell me because they never wrote it down. You can't have your work in your calculator, you have to have your work on your paper. That's so I can help you when I come to you and work on problems with you. So this is the way to find the surface area of this cube using the formula. Or if you don't want to use the formula, you just have to add all of the areas of all 6 faces. Luckily, a cube has 6 faces and they're all the same size. So if I find the area of one face and multiply it by 6, then I've got my surface area. So the area of one of the faces would be 6 times 6, which is 36, and there are 6 faces, so altogether I've got 216 square centimeters as my answer. The same as if I would have done it with the formula. Here I've got a little bit different rectangular prism. It's not a cube. All of the side lengths are not the same. So if I were to use this formula, this is how it would look. Again, same formula. Find the perimeter of the base. In this case, the base is this bottom rectangle. It's 8 by 7. So So what that means is when I find the perimeter, I'm finding this length 8 plus this length 7 plus this length in the back 8 plus this length on the side 7. So that's 2 8s plus 2 7s. Also known as 2L plus 2W. That's how we find the perimeter of a rectangle. So I've got that. And then I multiply it by how tall my prism is. My prism is 4 inches tall. Then I multiply by 2. I add 2 times the area of the base. So then I have to think, what's my base shape? A rectangle. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. In this case, 8 times 7. I'm using the same base to find the perimeter and the same base to find the area. So I've got all of it written down. I type it into my formula, and here I go. 232 inches squared. If I were to choose not to use the formula, I could still figure out the answer. So here I go. If I look at my rectangular prism, I've got 6 faces all together. But I've noticed that I've got 2 faces that are 8 by 4s. That's this face here that we see coming out to us. If this were a 3D object, it'd be coming out to us. And then I've got a face back there that's pushing back into this board. It's pushing back. There's an 8 by 4 there and an 8 by 4 there. So I've got 2 faces that are 8 by 4. So in the middle here, I've got 2 faces that are 8 by 4. So that's why I have 2 times 8 times 4. The area of those two, the area of that face times 2. Then on the bottom here, I've got my 8 by 7. And then on the top is an 8 by 7. So now I've got 2 faces that are 8 by 7. So far I have 4 faces that are accounted for. The last 2 faces are my left side and my right side. These are 4 by 7s. These are, let me repeat, 4 by 7s. This side and this side. 4 by 7, 4 by 7. So I've got 2 faces that are 4 by 7. So again, add the areas of all faces. To find the area of a rectangle, I just multiply length times width. So I've got 2 that are this size, 2 that are this size, 2 that are this size, 6 faces all together. And then when I multiply, add it up, because that's what surface area is adding all the areas of all of the faces. I get the same number as when I use the formula. But this is more visual. I literally went through my diagram and I said I have 2 of these and 2 of these, 2 of these and 2 of these. So this, not using the formula uses a part of your brain that's more spatial. Using the formula is using the part of your brain that's more algebraic thinking. So again, either way applies as long as you know what you're doing. I have a lot of students that come to me and they say, oh, I just use this formula, but they don't know what the formula means, they don't know how to use it. So that's why I'm going through this process and explaining each specific scenario so that you can use the formulas correctly or not use the formulas correctly. Then we're moving on to our triangular prisms. Again, triangular prisms are more confusing than rectangular prisms because in the way that they're given to you. Not all triangular prisms are sitting on their base. Triangular prisms are named after their base, a triangle. So if you look at this first example, this triangular prism is not sitting on its base. So you have to think to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm dealing with triangular prisms. So I'm dealing with the triangle first. That's the base. Not this rectangle down here, but the triangle. Sometimes I just cover up the rest of the picture because I want to focus on the base, the triangle. Take our formula, capital P times little h plus 2 times capital B. Capital P stands for the perimeter of the base shape. So in this case, I need to find the perimeter of my triangle. 8 plus 6 plus 10. Then multiply that by the height of the prism. So this prism is 15 inches tall. If I were to take that prism, sit it on its base, you would see that the 15 inches is the height. Then I add that to 2 areas of the base. So you have to remember, okay, how do I find the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle is half times base times height. Okay, so I set it up 2 times half. Then I have to think, what's my base and what's my height? Well, in a triangle, you'll see your base and your height when you look at the right angle. The base and the height come together to make a right angle. Wherever your right angle is, that's where your base and your height are. 8 and 6 are my base and my height. Not my 10, not my 15, but 8 and 6. Once you've got it written